Hello class. Okay, so there are certain problems in indices that it's not just straightforward. You have to apply quadratic method of solving in solving that initial question. Now, I wanted to round up indices and quadratic equation with this kind of example. So we have solve for x in this particular question and also this one. I'm going to do one, then I will leave this other one for you to do as your take home assignments. Okay, so let's start with this particular question. We have, I'll write it out again. So we have 4 raised power of x plus 1 minus 9 bracket 2 raised power x is equal to minus 2. Now notice something here. We have to look for what is common in these numbers. Now for this one minus 2, let's just forget about it, but let's look at these two numbers here. What is common between these two numbers? We can see that here's a 2 raised power x, and here can also be written in 2 raised power x methods. How can? Because we know that 4 raised to the power of x can be written as what? As 2 raised power of what? X times, sorry, can be written as 2 raised to the power of what? 2, which is like saying 4, and then you put your x outside, like that's 2 raised power of what? 2x. I believe you understand this. So therefore, if I was to put back this equation again, let me wipe this off. If I was to put back this equation again, I'll put it as what? 2 raised to the power of what? 2x plus 1. Sorry, that will be what? Plus 2. Now let me show you why it happened like that way. Okay, so you know what? Let me just show you from here. So we have what? This 4 raised power x can be written as 2 raised power of 2, right? So let's put it in a bracket. We have x plus 1 minus 9 bracket 2 raised power of x is equal to minus 2. Now, opening this bracket, you remember in the product law in indices, everything inside the bracket multiply everything outside the bracket, right? So that will be what? 2 raised power of what? 2 multiplying everything, that will be what? 2x plus 2. That's how we know it was 2. Minus 9 bracket 2 raised power of x is equal to minus 2. Now what's the next thing here? We've seen that there is a particular 2 raised power x that can be found in all these numbers, because 2 raised to the power of 2x can be written as what? 2 raised power of x times 2 raised power of x, which will give us what? 2 raised power of x plus x, which is like saying 2 raised power of 2x, right? I want to just show you how we brought this to be. So I know that I can find a 2 raised power of x even twice in this particular number. So just for the ease of understanding, let me call this 2 raised power of x a particular y. Let me just call it a particular y. Now you see why we're applying this particular y to solve. Now if I call it a particular y, it means that wherever I see 2 raised power of x, what should I do? Put it as y. Therefore, for this particular case where we have 2 raised power of 2x, remember I told you that 2 raised power of 2 is like saying 2 raised power x times 2 raised power x is like saying y times y, and that will give us what? Y squared, right? So therefore here is what? Y squared. But remember this has a plus 2. What do we do with this plus 2 now? Now let's go back again to this scenario where I showed you 2 raised power of x. Let's say plus 2. Now okay, this was 2 raised power of 2x plus 2. Now if this is 2 raised power of 2x plus 2, look at this plus 2 here. This plus 2 was gotten by saying if you had 2 raised to the power of 2x multiplying 2 raised to the power of 2. Because remember in indices, when I'm just this is an equal to sign. In indices, when you have this, what happens? You take one of the base, that's 2, and then you add up their index, 2 raised to the power of x plus what? 2. Are you seeing what's happening? So therefore this plus 2 means what? 2 raised to the power of 2. You take the same base and put it to that power. So therefore here we what? 2 raised to the power of 2. Sorry, I had a hiccup. So here's 2 raised to the power of 2. Okay, and then let's now say minus 9 bracket 2x will now be what? Y is equal to minus 2. Okay, so let's continue. Now pushing on, we have that y raised to the power of 2 times 2 raised to the power of 2 is like 2 raised to the power of 2 is what? 4. So we have 4y squared minus here is what? 9y is equal to minus 2. So just to make, now you can notice that this is a quadratic equation already, but to complete it, let me bring in this into the other side. So that will be what? 4y squared minus 9y plus 2 is equal to 0. I believe it's okay now. So now this looks like a quadratic equation. So this was our aim. Our aim was to reduce this into a quadratic equation so that we can solve it using the quadratic formulas, either of the formula we want to use. Now let me wipe off this part and then proceed. Okay, now continuing our discussion, we have that what so which formula should we, let's use factorization formula. I think it can work for this. In factorization formula, we look for the value of AC. Our AC here is what, if A is 4 and C is 2, AC will be what, 4 times 2, which is equal to 8, and our B is what, minus 9, right? So remember what we taught in factorization formula. In factorization, what do we look for? The number that when we multiply it we get AC, which is 8, and when we add that number we'll get what, minus 9, which is our B. So what number do you think can go? You can pause this video to think. Okay, so I know that the two values that can go will be 8, minus 8, and what's minus 1. You can check that out, because if you say minus 8 minus 1 or plus minus 1, you get minus 9, and minus 8 multiply minus 1, you get what, 8. Therefore, bringing this into the equation that we've been solving, we have that what, 4y squared minus 9y plus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore this will now be what, 4y squared, and then our minus 9 will now be what, minus 8y minus 1y is like saying minus y plus 2 is equal to 0. So what again next, that we can now factorize. So factorizing this, I can factorize this and I can factorize this. So factorizing this, we have what, now that bracket I put is not meant to be there, but I just for emphasis. So factorizing this, we have what here, 4 and 4 is a highest common factor. You can bring out 4. What again, y and y are also factors, so you can bring out y. And so what's remaining? Just y minus what, 2. Factorizing this, what's the common factor here? Only 1. Okay, I can bring out minus 1. And then what's the next thing? We have y minus 2 again, and that's equal to 0. So picking like terms is 4y minus 1, bracket close, bracket y minus 2 is equal to 0. Remember, we've already treated how to work with factorization method in our previous topics, so you can go back to look at it very well in case you're not following up with this particular solving. Okay, now continuing, I have that 4y minus 1 is equal to 0, or y minus 2 is equal to 0. So I have that my y is equal to 1 over 4, or my y is equal to 2, and this is my value of y. But are we done? No, because of, remember, your y was represented as a value, that's 2 raised power of x, and the real value we have to solve for is what, x, not y. So therefore let me slide my screen over to the other side, and let's now bring in that since 2 raised power of x is equal to y, therefore our y equals to 1 over 4 will be what, 2 raised power of x equal to 1 over 4. So now let's solve for x. So we have that 2 raised power of x is equal to, for this 1 over 4, remember I can write this as what, 4 raised power of minus 1 according to the negative index law. Secondly, 2 raised power of x again is equal to what, this 4 I can write as what, 2 raised power of what, 2, right? So if I say raised power of 2 times minus 1 will be like saying minus 2, and therefore what can I now do next? I can take away the basis, and x is equal to what, minus 2. Now this for the first one. Secondly, we also have for here y is equal to 2, so it is going to be what, or we have y, for y equal to 2, we have 2 raised power of x is equal to 2. And remember, since this is just 2 alone, it has a unity as an index, and then our x is equal to what, 1. Therefore we know that x is equal to 1 or minus 2, and these are the two values of our x. Now that's how you always know, because in this particular kind of situation, since we're applying quadratic formula to solve this, we'll have two two answers, or two values of x. Now I also like you to try other methods in solving this equation. So I apply the Poisson-Lowes method, apply the quadratic formula method, whichever one that works best for you. Okay, and then also lastly, I want you to go back and try out this question here. It's also going to be in your classroom, but in case I don't do that, try out this question here, and you can attach it to the stream tab or in the assignments tab of your classwork. Okay, so that's it. So thank you. Next we'll be going into that will be under calculus differentiation. So see you in that class. Thank you.